Hey, so today I thought I would show you how my amazing kindergarten friends made these clay birds in 30 minutes. So I gave them a piece of clay about the size of an orange, and on their tables they had a variety of different kinds of fabrics. So we had some doilies. I believe I picked these up like either at the thrift store or Joann's. Burlap works great. Really any kind of fabric with a texture. Something I found that doesn't work great are plastic doilies because they often get caught in the clay. So once they've picked out their texture, they lay it on their clay mat, take their piece of clay, and then they proceed to pound it flat on top of the fabric. So I'm going to attempt to pound and not shake you too much, and I don't know how well that's working. So give me a moment, I'm going to do it on my lap. So as they're pounding, I tell them that they need, don't you love your view right now? You're staring at the table. They have to pound the clay until it's about as thick as a cookie. And I tell them also that think of it as a landscape. They've got tall mountains and valleys. They need to make it a flat plain. So now you've got geography. So just pound it some more. Sorry. There's got to be a better way to demonstrate this for you. Keep pounding it until it's about as thick as a cookie. And once they've got it, then they can go ahead and peel this off. And it's like magic when they see the texture. The doilies are really cool. And then the next step was I had a little half circle template for them to trace. If you are anti-template, that's awesome. Just go ahead and have them trim off or create a horizontal line straight at the top, making sure they cut all the way through the clay. And I always tell them to get a nice little wet finger and take that finger and just kind of smooth out any rough edges that they might see. Now we have the bird's body. Next step is the wing. I'm actually going to make mine a little smaller or else I won't have enough clay to demonstrate everything for you. All right, so now what I'm going to do is the wing. So I'm just going to take my excess clay, roll it into a ball, scoop this guy out of the way, and let's try a different texture for the wing. So I'm going to roll this up for you. Pound it flat again. This time, since you're attaching one piece of clay to another, this piece of clay does not have to be as thick as a cookie. So peel this off. See, that's a pretty groovy texture. Cut this in half. And now I have my wing. So you can decide where you want your bird's wing to go. I don't use slip and score in my room. I explained to them the word, but instead we use a paintbrush. I'm sorry, that would be a toothbrush. We use a toothbrush and a cup of watered down clay. Look who forgot to add water. Imagine that there's watered down clay in this cup. So dip this in here. The scratching is the scoring. The slip is the watery clay. Also, you might want a toothbrush where you want it to go. Of course, if you were doing this for realsies, you would actually have some water in that cup. Stick or adhere that on, and let's talk about the eyes. So again, with your excess clay, go ahead and pinch that in half, roll it into a sphere, divide that in two, roll one, squish it real flat. There's the white of the eye. These guys just got done working on self-portrait, so they kind of understand the two parts of, well, the three parts of the eye. Put one there and the other one next to it. Some of them chose to overlap the two flattened circles, which was cute, or others kept them separate. It's totally up to you. And then you'll need to make two little pupils. Actually, you could call that the iris and use the back of the stick. That also helps make it so this will dry a lot faster. If you have a big thick lump of clay stacked on top of another piece and on top of another piece, this big space has to dry completely before being fired. If you go ahead and put a hole in it, it will make it so it dries out a little faster, and it also makes it so it's got pupils. I always have the kids do that stuff. They can handle the scandal. Last thing is the beak. So take the last bit of your clay, roll it into a coil. So this way you can introduce those three important clay terms: slab, sphere, coil. With those three things, you can make anything. And now I have my beak. Don't forget to toothbrush. If you don't toothbrush your teeth will fall out. If you don't toothbrush your clay will fall apart, just like your unbrushed teeth. And there you have it. Now, when they were finished, I did go ahead and put 2 holes at the bottom and 2 holes at the top. And when they got them back, I've already chatted with you in the blog post about how they used oil pastels and then dipped them. They either dipped them in the ink, or I dipped them while they watched, or they painted, just depending on what time we had. For the legs, the kids were given their choice of pipe cleaners, any color they wanted. They had to get 2 long ones for 2 legs, 2 short ones for the feet. Overlap 1, the kids told me this reminded them of a sword. So I said, okay, make this look like a sword. The handle of the sword goes up and around. Boom, done. I don't love that these are pointed on the ends, so I did ask the kids to bend them in so younger brothers or sisters